A major part of the Earth Hour celebrations on Saturday evening will be a Glow 5K fun walk and run in which it is hoped hundreds of participants will carry lights through the darkened streets of the city and raise money for Green Rock as well as awareness. Organizer Ashley Gillis explains.
It's a 5K Glow fun walk or run through the streets of Hamilton. The lights will be turned off between 8:30 and 9:30. We will have entertainment spots along the route just to keep the vibe going throughout. It's for all athletic abilities. You can walk it, you can run it. It's not a timed event, so not to be competitive, but we have had sponsors along the way to light up the streets in either black lights, glow features, obstacles, and entertainment.
Must be quite a sight, isn't it?
It will be.
Last year was fun?
Last year we didn't do the effect that we're doing this year. Last year was more of a flame walk where they carried candles. This year we've changed it to more of a glow event with the black lights, music throughout, actual entertainment.
When does it start exactly?
The actual race starts at 8:30 from the waterfront properties.
It's on Pitts Bay Road.
On Pitts Bay Road. That's the start and finish of the race, and it goes throughout most of the city streets, through a couple of the parks, and then back at the waterfront properties.
It's impressive that you want to keep adding things rather than, do what you do. And this is going to make, I think, a lot more people interested in helping. It's like you're making a gesture, and that's easy. But Bermudians are very good at following important issues like the environment and everything else. So your turnout will be probably, in the thousands?
Hopefully. I think the hundreds to start with, but hopefully it'll keep growing each year. We're basing the event on a couple of different events from overseas. They do glow walk and runs most of the time. And if we can keep building on this, then it could be a success where it is thousands of people.
Any fundraising involved?
There are fundraising opportunities. So sign up is on racedayworld.com. From there, you can become a fundraiser. It's like an online pledge sheet. All money goes towards the Green Rock charity for their community programs. The sign-up fee is also everything towards Green Rock. So you can donate on the actual site, and it's all electronic this year.
HSB today launched its Global Water Program, which funds over 59 water projects in 35 countries through a 5-year, $100 million partnership with Earthwatch, WaterAid, and the World Wildlife Fund. Funding has been secured to support a partnership with the Bermuda Zoological Society and Green Rock, which will focus on the remediation of Cloverdale and Evans Bay brackish ponds. HSB CEO Richard Mosley, Bermuda Zoological Society's Dr. Jamie Bacon, and Green Rock's Chris Beckerberg comments on the benefits to be derived from the program.
This is a partnership which we have with Earthwatch, WaterAid and the Water Wildlife Fund. And here locally we have partnered with the Bermuda Zoological Society. And we'll talk a bit more about what we're going to do shortly. In terms of our focus in Bermuda, we're looking at the remediation of the Cloverdale and Evans Bay brackish ponds, which is a critical habitat for a diversity of wildlife. And there are many sediments in these ponds which contain toxic levels of various contaminants. And what we'll be doing is working with the Bermuda Zoological Society to see how we can clean these up. And even just talking earlier with Dr. Bacon, some of the things which are being worked on now, we can see some very early positive results. So I'm personally very excited about what we can do in this area.
For me, this grant is especially heartening. After spending 12 years studying how pollution is affecting Bermuda's wildlife and potentially affecting humans, this grant is now allowing us to do something about it. As Mr. Mosley said, we will be doing remediation at 2 ponds using a 2-pronged approach. The first method we'll be using is aeration of the pond's sediments. Our studies have shown that there are hydrocarbon-eating bacteria in the sediments, but that they're essentially starving for oxygen. By giving them oxygen, that will enable the bacteria to reproduce and consume the hydrocarbons much more quickly.
We're going to be asking students to look at questions that have to do with sustainability, access to clean and fresh water. But more than that, it also asks the students to look at water-related issues such as clean and healthy food. It asks students to look at a water footprint. In other words, ask them to look at how is their activity or how does our consumption of water affect not only Bermuda but other places in the world. Social and environmental change takes time, and we've learned that experiential education is a very important part of making these changes come about. And having the opportunity to work with these young preceding generations, we're inviting them into conversations that quite frankly they belong in. Decisions and choices are being made about Bermuda's future, and 8 to 14-year-olds we have found are entirely capable of having some of these conversations.